Welcome to r/slash idontworkherelady, where we share stories about normal people who are actual customers that are mistaken for employees at that establishment. This is TNA, top-notch audio. Get ready for some laughs. And at the end of these stories, we definitely appreciate your likes, comments, and definitely subscribe for sure. And this story is posted by Chris_558. Karen mistakes me for a waiter. I was at a restaurant with my friends a few years ago. I don't like choosing what to wear, so my wardrobe mainly consists of plain black shirts and jeans. The waiters at the restaurant I was at had black shirts and jeans, but they had the logo on the shirts and wore aprons. I had finished my main meal and decided to go to the restroom. I managed to get there fine, but on my way back I heard an "excuse me" somewhat entitled voice. I ignored it as I hate confrontation. I have autism, so I find communication difficult. A few moments later, she tapped me on my shoulder. This made me jump as I wasn't expecting it. I turned around and looked at her, waiting for a response. She started ordering her food. I think she thought that I was a waiter. I sheepishly said that I don't work there and turned to walk back to my table. Then she tugged on my sleeve. At this point, I was already a bit shaken, but she started shouting at me. She shouted things like she knew the manager and that I would be fired. The people she was with told her to calm down, but she carried on. She then pushed me, which made me stumble back a bit. At this point, a waiter came over and asked what was happening. The woman said that I assaulted her and that I tried to steal her money. The waiter told me to wait there as he got the manager. The manager came and asked the woman what happened. He then called the police. They arrived and took statements from the woman. The police officers went to review the footage from the security cameras. The police officers came back and asked me if I want to press charges. The woman, thinking that they were directing the question to her, shouted yes. The police officer looked at the woman and said, "Not you, be quiet." He looked at me. I said yes. The manager decided to give me the meal for free, and I got to enjoy a delicious chocolate brownie. And this next story is posted by u/CoderJoe1, wrong number at San Antonio International Airport. In the mid-'80s, we lived in San Antonio, Texas in an apartment. Landlines were the only real option, so we got one. This was our first apartment as a new couple, so we were excited to have our own phone. In the first 6 months, we had 2 or 3 wrong number calls, but they were very specific in their request. They'd always ask us to turn the temperature up or down. That was bizarre enough, but then the calls started coming several times a week. I finally got one caller to explain she worked in a big office building at the airport for a large company, and their heating and cooling was controlled by the thermostat in the building across the busy 4-lane road. Same company, but different departments in the 2 buildings. She didn't know why it was like that, but she'd been told to call over whenever it got really hot or cold. She was nice and professional and promised to fix the little sign next to the phone where somebody had written our phone number by mistake. Apparently, their last digit was one off from our phone number. The next day, the calls doubled. A different woman explained that they'd received a new company directory of phone numbers that morning, and now everyone knew to call our number to change the temperature. I think the lady I talked to the previous day made a mistake. The new company directory had been distributed to every desk in that building. It was laminated. You can all guess where this is going, right? It took me a bit to convince my wife, but she finally let me have my fun. She did giggle when I'd answer the phone and tell whoever was calling that we had the temperature perfect over here and we weren't about to screw it up for them. This went on for a couple weeks, and our friends and neighbors got to witness my response to a few of them. One day, the caller didn't like my attitude and threatened to come over and have a talking to me. I pretty much threatened his manhood and laughed that he'd never find me over here. He called back several times searching for me, and I tell him he was getting colder or warmer, and then finally say, "See, I still control the temperature." It just stopped after that. We watched the news for anything about it for a couple of days, but nothing came of it. We never received another call from them. I know what I did wasn't mature, but I was an 18-year-old kid and didn't realize they could have actually found out where I lived and showed up to deliver the beating I deserved. I just got lucky. I'm not saying I regret it, just not quite so proud of it as I used to be. And this story is posted by u/DurPFace457. You work here, so don't give me that BS story. I don't work here, but my dad does. Well, he is probably a nobody. He is the CEO. So, a little backstory. My dad owns a pretty big company in the Netherlands. My English is not the best. He was a lot in the office and often came by to say hi, or my dad would take me to soccer practice. This was around 6 years ago. I was 14 at the time of the event. Now for the cast. Me equals, well, me. EB equals Karen, her actual name, LOL. W1 equals Officer 1. W2 equals Office Worker 2. PD1 equals Police Officer 1. PD2 equals Police Officer 2. CEO equals my dad. It was a cold winter night, so I just wanted to go to soccer practice while waiting for my dad to finish his meeting. I was on my phone playing some games, and I could see this woman looking very annoyed at me. She was sitting at her desk mumbling. I could not hear what she was saying, so I kept on playing. After a while, I was bored, so I just started to text my mom since my dad was in the meeting for a while. The woman was now very angry, and I did not think anything of it. So I went to the bathroom, and when I came out of the bathroom, the woman was standing in front of me like way too close. I am a little scared because I do not like confrontation, so I just walked past her and say nothing. So I got back to the desk that I was sitting at. After 15 minutes, the Karen janked my headphones off and threw it onto the floor, and my phone was attached, so my phone dropped to the floor and broke. I had the iPhone 6 Plus. It was brand new, like 2 weeks, so I was freezed. EB, do your effing job, you lazy butch. EB, hello, you moron. Me, what? EB, do your freaking job. All you interns are the same. Me, ma'am, I'm not she cuts me off. EB, good intern, yes, I know. Me, no, I am not an intern, and why did you yank my phone and headphones out of my hand? EB, because, she's making that voice when you talk to a baby and very slow, you need to do your job. Me, realizing what is happening, oh, but I don't work here. EB, heck you don't anymore. At this point, I'm getting more and more annoyed. Me, I am not an intern and I don't work here. EB, geez, you don't have to yell. Keep in mind that she has yelled at me the whole time. My dad heard yelling, but he then thought it was from outside. EB, where's your boss? At this point, I had a plan. Me, I will call him for you. EB got a smirk on that ugly face of her. Me, hey, can you come outside for a sec? CEO, sure. CEO, what is wrong, Julia and Karen? Not my real name, by the way. EB, this lady assaulted me and threatened me. CEO, my dad already knew this was all a lie, and he also saw my phone on the ground. Me, what? EB, fire her and arrest her. CEO, Julia, follow me. So my dad and I go to his office and call the police. PD1, what happens here? EB, I asked the girl why she wasn't working, and then she blew up in my face and slapped me on my arm. PD2, and now you. Me, I was waiting for my dad to finish his meeting when, Karen cuts me off. EB, lies, officer, arrest her for lying. PD1 and PD2, shut up. I told them what happened. EB, you work here, so don't give me that BS story. Me, I don't work here, but my dad does. EB, well, he is probably a nobody. Me, he is the CEO. So Karen is very confused. PD1, okay, you two, stay here with PD2. PD1, I am checking the footage. Karen began screaming and yelling. We were both in cuffs and kicking tables and stuff. PD1 and 2 were trying to get her away from me, but she hit PD1 on the nose with the handcuffs, and she hit me in my stomach hard. PD2 tased her and dragged her out to a police cruiser. They were successful until she put a little stick in PD2 his leg. Backup was called, and she was arrested for assault of a civilian, assault on 2 police officers, refusing arrest, assault on a minor, and more. They checked the footage first before this incident. And this story is posted by u/punny Homans. Okay, to be fair, this one was partially my fault. So I don't know why, but no matter what happens or where I go, it seems inevitable for me to be mistaken as an employee. However, this was partially my fault. I was offered to visit a very special and beautiful estate in the U.S. for an incredible price. Now, tickets to tour the estate are usually quite expensive, so of course I leapt at the chance. So the day came and I had been suggested to wear one of my work suits to the estate. They told me that I wouldn't regret it once I looked back at the photos. So I took their advice, cleaned my suit, and got dressed when the day came. I went in and began looking around, reading everything and enjoying every detail. The outfits from Titanic were on display. I just loved every bit of what was placed in building this. So, after a while, I stepped out and decided to get something to eat. Sweet Tooth told me to go to the bakery attached to the place. I ordered a red velvet cupcake, and then the employee looks at me and asks something I wasn't expecting. "What's your employee number?" I blinked and then realized something. The employees, the ones in the estate, were wearing suits and the exact same button-down I was wearing. Whoops. I explained politely that I didn't work there. I was just a visitor, but thank you anyway. I stepped to the side and wait for my cupcake, enjoying the smell as my stomach wants to whine at me. An old woman burst towards me, looking confused. "Listen, I know you're on your break, but I really need help. Can you direct me where I need to go?" I felt bad, but I just told her, "I'm sorry, but I don't work here, ma'am. It's actually my first visit." She, thankfully, just looked embarrassed, apologized, and walked out. But why not ask the employees at the bakery? There's a better chance they'll know or know someone who knows. Maybe she was embarrassed to stick around the girl she mistook. But still, twice in rapid fire succession for being mistaken as an employee. Thankfully, it didn't seem to happen again. Some odd looks from people here and there, but that was probably them piercing together someone just happened to wear the uniform to look around by mistake. A mistake I will not make again, LOL. These were 4 great stories, so we definitely thank you for listening, and do us a huge favor, comment, like, share, and definitely subscribe for sure, so you'll be able to get more of the reminders for new videos that come out in the future. Have yourselves an incredible day. This has been TNA Top Notch Audio.